week, Black Adam, M-rated, 125 minutes, and we had the good fortune to see it in IMAX. Boys, do you agree the best possible way to see a movie is at an IMAX theatre? The absorption in what goes on, the pictures, the sound. We're very privileged that we still happen to be the only state in Australia, and we have been for the last, 3 years or so, to have an IMAX theatre. Do you all enjoy the experience as much as I do? Whenever I get an excuse to go there, I go. Peter?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see the film at IMAX, wasn't invited, but yes, IMAX is a great process for films that are appropriate.
And what about you, Dave?
Oh, look, I love it. Second biggest screen in the world. We are so lucky that's in our city.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Second. So I got to ask, where's the biggest?
Well, it was the biggest for years and years and years, and then I think one in America was built that's bigger.
And the sound as well. It's just awe-inspiring for big movies. Greg, you like IMAX too?
Yeah, when it's done well, yes. Not many big feature films like this are made purely for IMAX, so they have segments made for IMAX. But I didn't see this in IMAX either.
No. But even if they're not made for IMAX,
it's big experience and just on the big screen, with the sound almost immersing you in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. So, look, it's a film for fanboys, Black Adam, and I hope I can. I mean, fanboys. I'm talking generically. So, fangirls, non-binary specific. It's mired in mythology, which will be far more meaningful to those who have read the DC comics, which I had not. It's the character hailed as the slave who became a champion. It's the story behind Teth, T-E-T-H Adam, Teth Adam, who becomes Black Adam, and that's played by Dwayne Johnson. The action moves from the ancient city, and this is obviously presumably a made-up name called Karnak, where Adam is enslaved before being gifted almighty powers and imprisoned, and then it moves to 3,000 years later when he is freed. Now, he's actually been jailed by mystical wizards deep within the Rock of Eternity. That's a place that serves as the source of all magic. However, the suspension of time, 5,000 years, hasn't weakened him physically or emotionally, and he's still imbued with the remarkable powers. He's got unbelievable strength, he operates at lightning-fast speed, and he's very angry. Now, during the course of this picture, we learn why he wields his dark sense of justice on the world, and he refuses to yield. The return 5,000 years later is quickly noted by Carter Hall, a.k.a. Hawkman, played by Aldous Hodge, who puts out a call to his friend Kent Nelson, otherwise known as Dr. Fate, a role filled by Pierce Brosnan. And there's they've reformed the Justice Society, along with Adam Smasher and Cyclone. And the quartet aims to contain the anti-hero, which is the Teth Adam character, and return him to eternal captivity. It's been written by a group of three: Adam Zeikel, Rory Haynes, and Sobrag Noshiravi. Direction from, and I don't know how you pronounce his first name. Is it Yame Collet Sierra or Sarah? I'm not sure how you pronounce that first name. I apologise to him. It was sort of, he's the guy who was at the helm of Jungle Cruise, which was, I think that came out last year, didn't it, with Dwayne Johnson in the lead role. Look, unless you've got a decent understanding of Black Adam before entering the cinema, the film's really convoluted. I thought I was playing catch-up most of the way through. It's a visual effects extravaganza, fight sequence after fight sequence. IMAX is the perfect vehicle for the imagery and sound, mind you. When it comes to the storyline, look, none of it's all that inspiring. The plot's ho-hum, really no different to the many other superhero movies that we've seen. And Johnson, look, he's okay. He maintains his stern visage that is required to maintain throughout. Always looks good on the screen. I thought Sarah Shahi, her performance as Adriana, the freedom fighter who retains her humanity, was pretty good. And there's more than a little get up and go about Bodhi Sabongui, who plays the character I've just mentioned, Adriana's street-smart teenage skater son, Eamon. So they're the sort of three key characters. I don't know about you, but I found it difficult to understand the narration that kicked off the movie. Now, I'm all for diversity and of characters and sounds, etc. But I just thought the narration was really ordinary at the very beginning. I did not understand it. It was too quick, and also some of the subsequent dialogue wasn't clear either. Why, Dave? I mean, that doesn't make sense.
I didn't find that to be an issue at all. Actually, I thought that I know I'm coming from this film probably a little bit different to the rest of you in that I'm a huge DC fan, so knew about the character of Black Adam. I think it works as a big dumb action film. It's probably the best way to put it.
Really?
Yeah, no, I thought it worked. I thought it was interesting to see a character come to the fore that you don't normally see come to the fore for DC. And of course, the whole idea for this film was generated from the fact that Dwayne Johnson once posted online that if he could play any superhero, he would like to play Black Adam. So that kind of fed that seed, and they've been trying to find a way to bring Black Adam into the DC universe for a while now. He was supposed to be in Shazam. I think he was supposed to be in Suicide Squad. They ended up bringing him into this one. I think where comic book fans are going to love this film is it raises a lot of the questions that we've had for years and years, such as why, when something happens in America or Europe, are the Avengers or the Justice League there straight away, but you'll have a country like this country in Africa that's been in oppression for years and no one's ever come to save them. No Superman, no Batman, no nothing like that. I think that was a really good point that this film needed to make, because it's something that the fans have been asking for a long time. I think it also touched really well on, can you be a villain and a hero at the same time? It did have some errors. I thought it brought in too many characters. It made the same mistake as the Eternals. It brought in too many characters that people didn't know about or even care about at that time, and then expects you to fear for their safety when their lives are in danger. But look, at the end of the day, I think this is the new wave that we're seeing for DC Comics, and I kind of liked it.
Wow. Oh, I was so disappointed in it, Dave. I really was. I wanted so much more. Peter, you haven't seen it yet, or you have?
Oh, yes, I've seen it, but not at IMAX.
Not at IMAX.
Okay. Look, for me, I thought this was a sort of a Russia-Ukraine analogy in terms of what the storyline was trying to do about trying to save a country, save a population, etc. But I found this to be a really bloated, effects-driven film, which needed at least 2 or 3 more drafts of the script and maybe input from Taika Waititi to be able to demonstrate that this is a story that's worth telling for an audience with a bit of humour. I mean, Dwayne Johnson's performance is virtually a rock. And I found it actually quite disappointing. The character doesn't really develop much at all. And I mean, this is a film that desperately needed, and here's an in-joke, folks, Superman. But anyway, let's not go any further with that. I was very disappointed by this film, and I was bored through most of it.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm with you. I just thought it's best suited to those who have historic ties to the superhero, and you're a great advantage having been so, Dave. Look, I know many of the movies of this genre are long, superhero films, etc. This one felt particularly so, and what you said a few moments ago really troubled me, Dave, that if this is the direction that superhero movies are going in, by becoming more and more bloated and adding more and more characters and not really developing them, that's not the direction I would like to see superhero movies go in. My favourite superhero film is Spider-Man, and we're not talking about the more recent ones. I'm talking about ones going back, and they keep rebooting that, and I just have an affinity for that sort of character. Black Adam did not move mountains for me, and I agree with you, Peter. Stern rewriting and tightening and more substance would have been very much more user-friendly than just fight after fight after fight, and yeah, let's do it again. Let's pack up our belongings and do it a third and a fourth and a 53rd time. So I'm giving it a bare pass, and I was reluctant to do that. It's rated M. It runs for 2 hours and 5 minutes. 5 out of 10. Peter?
I can't even pass it, I'm afraid. 4 out of 10 from me.
Dave, I'll be very curious. Go for it, mate.
Yeah, I by the way, I didn't mean that the new wave was going to be bloated and introducing new characters. I meant that they're trying to move away from the big four, as in,
Okay.
and bring in...
Sorry about that.
But yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think that it's serviceable, but I think, yeah, if you've read the comics, you're going to get a lot more out of this than what you will if you haven't.
He's 7 out of 10. So you're serviceable, okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's still reasonably praiseworthy, which is good. I mean, that's terrific. Let me turn on JAir 88 FM to a couple of things.